Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza Creates. Thank you for joining me today. So we're going to continue with my lunch bag journal. Last time I brought you these mass make of vellum clusters, and you can see how they were used here. We're going to do the center spread of the signatures. So this is one I've already made, and you can see where I've used them on that. And I just wanted to show you, I happen to have this doily laying around on my desk, as you do, and I just thought, oh, how gorgeous does that look? Now that is just stunning. Love it. I may well use that idea in this journal. But not for this. Okay, so let's just move those to the one side, and let's get the center of the journal. So what I did was I just folded these pockets down, so I left them, so that is the full width of my sheet, and I just cut it down to fit the width. It's not the full length, is it? Yeah, it is. Full width, that way. So I left it as a fold up, like so, and then I went, I'm going to decide what to do with it afterwards. I wasn't sure if I was like thinking I'd fold it down like so, and then I had this idea of doing it like a diagonal, and now I've got another idea. I'm going to do this in the front one, because I might do the middle one differently. There we go. So in order to do this, did I go all the way to the bottom? Yeah, I do these things and I forget. Well, not quite. So I didn't go quite to the bottom, and I wanted to go from the corner. So did that, and just sort of eyeballed this one to be about the same. There we go. About the same. Let's go down a little bit more. There we are. Fold them down. Couldn't be simpler. Give it a bit of a burnish. It's a bit hard because it's like this one. I can get all the way down. Oh, I can if I do that. So this is one of the drawbacks there of having sewn them in before you decorate, but you know, get around it. It's not a major issue. So I'm inking round. So this is red cabbage dyed. So this is one of the bluer sheets. So I think what I did with this batch is I just left a whole pile just soaking in the mixture, and I've got a very varied, I'm going to go around the bottom, very varied colour. So range from very pale blue to very dark blue to not dark like this blue, but you know, darker shade of this, to like a purpley colour to lilac, and some like both colours appeared on the page. So yeah, always, you never know quite what you're going to get when you dye with fruit and veg. I thought it was a nice subtle blue, and it's a blue sort of themed journal, so I thought that would go well. And then I took a bit of music paper that I had, from my vintage book. That'll do nicely. And oh, craft a lunch. Oh, and another one. Go on, Bennett. I've said it before, my craft room needs a massive overhaul, but too busy crafting to do that. So I'm going to take the margins off this. I'm going to use my rippy ruler so that I get a bit of a rippy edge, and then these will go in with my scraps. So I'm gonna see where I want it to be. Come down, yeah, about there, about there. I'm actually not going to see that top edge at all. So then we take these other edges off. I like to see the treble clefs. I think they give a nice look. So that's going to go on the edge of the pocket there. So we're going to come across here and rip down about there. And that's how we got that. And then that's going to be about there in place, and then just fold it down so we can see about where we want to rip this. And that is how I got that to go there, like so. So do exactly the same for the other side. So you see about where from the top I want it to be. About there. Underneath that bit there, we shall come. Come down that side there. And then over to here. Going to come down about there. And then just like we did before, put that in place. And then fold that down. And that gives me where I want to tear this. And that's how I got that bit. Like so. So they're all ready to get stuck down. So just gonna go around it. Don't have to worry too much. Don't have to worry at all about that edge. It's not going to be seen in the least. Very thin paper. It is. I think it's more than 100 years old, this paper. It is hard when it's so sort of thin and weak. So I might just come in with this to go on the edge there. Yeah, it's a bit easier. Put a bit more ink on it. Don't know why I whispered that. I notice my voice is back. I can still hear a little bit in it that's not quite right, but slight croakiness. But yeah, much better. And whispering something that you shouldn't do when you've got a strained voice like I had. I think it strains it even more. But I think often the temptation is to whisper, but apparently it's not what you do. I think I did know that. I was looking it up thinking, oh, it's been quite a long time, should I be worried? Yeah, no, I wasn't. So I consulted Dr. Google, and reassured me not to worry. Although I'm not sure what I'd do about it, because getting a doctor's appointment is quite hard, really. There we go. Put it down slightly, I think. There we are. There's my little card. The nectar card. They've started doing extra nectar deals, haven't they? It's going to have me going to Sainsbury's. I don't go to Sainsbury's very often. It's too blooming expensive. But our little handy dandy corner shop is Tesco. Well, we've got Tesco's around one side and Sainsbury's around the other. One of them little small corner shoppy ones. So I do go in from time to time. So I thought, oh, I do get the Tesco club card deals. So pick up a few nectar ones. Only if I want the stuff. Oh. There we go. I go in so often, so rarely, that I've got something like £4.38 to spend in my nectar points. And that's been since before lockdown. So there you go. That's how little I shop in Sainsbury's. There we go. So that's that. So then we want to line it. We want to do those dangly down bits with some of the lovely DSP. So I've got some scraps here. Yes. Have I got scraps of 101? I want this one. It's not big enough. Not the one I want. Not really the one I want. So we might have to cut into a big sheet. Yeah. Going to cut into a big sheet. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the size I need to line my tags, and then I'll have an off cap. So I'm going to cut this down at 3 7/8 because I know that's what I need for one of my tags, and then I know I need to go 3.5 for the other way. So that's for a tag, and I'm going to put that somewhere else, and then I can do another 3.5. So that's another tag. And then if I take another 3.5 off that, I'm not going to have I'm going to have the same size as I've got in that other bit, which we've already worked out in enough. So we can use this for them flippy flaps. Let's just clear this away. Don't need this anymore. Get rid. And I don't want my rippy ruler. I want straight lines on this one. Don't I? I mean, I don't have to do it the same, but I am. Right, so, yeah. Oh, do you know, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well done, Jess. So I'm just gonna measure. So that is 2. We're going to go slightly less, aren't we? So if I cut it to, should I cut it to 2 3/4? Yeah. It's not 2 3, it's 1 3/4. Well, probably enough. So I might, I think 1 3/4. I'm going to try and get the 2 out of the 1. So I might go to 2. And the thing is, if I put that on there like that. So what I'm going to do is put that on there like that, but with a bit of a margin, turning it over like there, and with my pencil drawing a line. And that should hopefully give me what I want. Right, I've deliberately done it a bit too big, but that's okay. And then I can't get 2 out of 1, Waterberg, but I can save that for the centre one. So as we did before, and put that on there like so, fold it back. This one's a bit easier because it can at least lean on there. That would get 2 out, you know, I reckon. So that's going up like that. So that would, oh no, it's still the wrong side. So that'll do the ones on the inside quite nicely. So these need being a bit better. So I'll go from there all the way to there. So I'll just put a dot on each side. That should do it. With a pair of glasses. So 1 dot there. And there. Yeah, I thought I'd need to come down a little bit. I just didn't want to throw too much caution to the wind, because once it's off, it's off. You can't put it back on again. This paper's too beautiful to waste. So there we go. That one will do. And on this side. And then I have cut to do 2 tags, although I don't want. I don't want them matching this. I want it slightly different. I think that's good as it is. So I'm going to put that dot that I've just made there and have that resting on the edge of the blade there. That should do it. That's the way to do it. There we go. Excellent. Right. So I just need a bit more inking around the edges. Oh, and I want to do some stamping. So I've got this ink splodge. So this comes from Sun Prints, which is the stamp set that goes along with this paper. So it's all part of a suite. So I'm just putting cut and mats from my mini cut and emboss. So that makes it a little bit better. And I didn't, I'm not bothered that it's not fully stamped, because it's supposed to make it look like old ink splotches or a coffee splotch. They'd have drunk coffee back in vintage days, wouldn't they? Vintage days. Olden days, as we used to say when we were kids. Trouble is, we thought olden days was when our parents were little. Be horrified if my kids called my growing up years the olden days. So it wasn't that long ago. It's only like 10 years ago. Says she with a 31-year-old son. But there we go. Right, so they just need sticking down. I think this is the only bit in this journal on terms of page decoration that's a little bit complicated. The rest are literally just add a cluster or a little border. There we go. Look a little bit like collars of a shirt. There we are. Now I did toy with the idea of not sticking these, just sort of sticking them down on the edge so you had an upward tuck, and then I just decided against it. But that is always a possibility. But I just felt that it was going to be a bit too loose, and so whatever you stuck up there would just fall out, which is what I always think about upward tucks, that they just fall out. So what a waste of time. So I'm just gluing it. Just going to glue it down. I mean, you don't have to do the music paper bit. I just liked it. Just thought it adds a little bit of extra interest. There's a music paper page in the journal. So it all ties in nicely. There we go. These are my new bottles I got from charity shop. You might have seen in the previous thing I put alcohol in, another one of them, which made doing that alcohol technique on the vellum really easy. I've made a playlist, lunch bag journal, so all the videos to go with this will be in that. Right, now we want to stick these down. So glue down there on that end. Make sure the ties are out of the way. This is quite thick paper that I did the dyeing on. It's 120 GSM paper, so it's not normal copier paper. So I like the thicker ones if I'm going to put pockets and things on. I do like to be using the thicker paper. If it's just an ordinary page with nothing going to be attached, then your 80 GSM copier paper will be fine. So that's that. And then just do you know, have I done these all with the butterfly on the right hand side? What a berk. What a berk. So I think I've done some the other way round. Oh no, they're all the right side as well. Okay, take it all back. They look quite nice. I'm going to do my tag first and see what the paper looks like. Right, so let me show you how I did the tags. I've got half a sheet already, so there we go. That is not crumb cake. That is Sahara sand. I want crumb cake. Have I got some here? No? Okay. Reach back and get some. So this is crumb cake cardstock, which is the colour, Stampin' Up cardstock. And It's UK A4, so it's 8 1/4 wide. So I'm just going to cut it right down the centre there at 8 1/8. And that is the one dimension of my tag, and the other is 4 3/4. So that is my tag shape. So I'll do another one at 4 3/4, and then you're left with a wee strip like this, and I cut that down to 2 inches wide, and I make a little tag from it. So out of your sheet of A4 you get 4 of the journaling cards and 2 little tags. So that's that, and then I just use a retired punch, this tag topper punch here. We've made several tag topper punch. I've made several tag topper punch over the years. This one I like because I think it has a really nice edge to it, which I think's got quite a sort of Victorian vintage sort of look about it. I do like the other one I've got as well, but I can't see that at the moment. Oh, I can see it now. But so this one is actually done so that you can do 1 inch wide and 1.5 inches wide, and the way the shaping goes, it just takes it down, which is quite cool. So do that, and then I'll just round the bottom corners, and that is those done. That's me rubbish. And then for my journaling cards, I just take my very best trio punch, which is carrying over into the annual catalogue, which I am really relieved about. Well, it makes no odds to me, I've got one, but I know that people that follow me have wanted this punch as well, so I'm just grateful that other people can buy it. And how cool's that? I just think that's a lovely shape, quick and easy because it's a punch. So what you've got to remember is you punch and then you need to turn so you get matching that way, and then we need to turn that way so we get the matching that way, and then we need to turn again to get the matching that way. So super simple, easy, little mini mass make going on here. But having now designed one signature, that does make the completing of the signatures much easier. There we go. So that's that bit done. And then I want to give them a bit of a, and I keep these, so these are like photo corners, very useful to add to a project to give that old-fashioned look to the edge of a photo. You've got little photo corners. How cool is that? So I just keep those. Got a little pot here on my desk where I pop them in, and I seem to have moved my little pot there on the desk where I pop them in, so I'll just pop them to the side there, and it just add to the mess. Right, so I am going to stamp on this to make it look old, using this stamp here, which is this one here from Artistically Inked. I use this loads, love it. This is carrying over, so it's not going. So that's quite handy as well. So if I show you, it gives such a lovely edge. So I just go like so, around the edge, and it's also, that's just quite a nice sort of little look, and I leave that then for the journaling. But I do it on the other side as well, where I'm going to attach the paper to. There we go. So it doesn't take long. That's why I've got this mess here on this sheet of paper. And this is soft suede that I'm using. I say it is retiring soft suede. The stamp set, ink pad even. I think I said stamp set in my last video that I've only just filmed, but you should already have watched, I hope. Yeah, I said the stamp set's retiring. It's an ink pad, of course. And it's reduced. It's only £6 something, I think. But I do love soft suede. They have replaced it with some other colours. It's not arrived yet. The new colour that's going in the neutral family to replace it. It's quite a different shade. But I have ordered it so I can see what it's like. There we go. Get a bit of repetitive strain syndrome going on here. There we go. I can feel my arms aching now. But that's me and my condition. This is a Stampin' Up block as well that I'm using, which are my favourite sorts of acrylic blocks, because can you see there? It goes, it's got a divot, so that holds your fingers in there really, really nicely. So you don't end up with inky fingers. Whereas I've got ones from years and years ago that are like half as thick as that, not even half as thick as that, and you just end up with fingers in the ink pad. I always find. Right, and then I do it on these little ones as well. Just go across the top, down the side. Might need to re-ink this ink pad. The re-inker for soft suede might have sold out. I don't remember seeing that, because somebody said to me, "You stocking up, Jez?" And it's like, well, I've already stocked up. I do have 2 bottles of re-inker already. And as it took me 6 years to use my first bottle, I think I'll be all right. Although I do go through it a lot more using it for inking and things, which is why I've got 2 ink pads. I have one for inking and one for stamping. There we go. That'll do. So that's that. And now this is where you see me change. So this is the newer style ink pad, and I've still got the original style. It's my original soft suede, which I've had more than 6 years, I'm sure. And this is the one that I use for blending. So this is the one that tends to get re-inked. The other one, I don't think I've re-inked the other one, to be fair. And so then I just go around the edges like that, just to give it a little bit more of an old look. And this means as well, you don't have to then go around with your sponge, because it gets all the edges inked. It's proper making my arm ache now. Don't really know. You can see my bruises. Give me some sympathy. So I'm trying to get blood out of me last week at the hospital. I didn't succeed. They just blew me veins. So it's probably not helping me at all. There we go. So that's that. Oh, I feel like my arm's getting a proper workout. But I think you can see how cool this looks. I was cold earlier. I'm not cold anymore. I might take my hat off. I did put a hat on, but we have put the heating on. I did meet James in the kitchen. I went down for lunch. I said, "Are you cold?" He went, "Yeah, I am a bit chilly." I was like, "Let's put the heating on." They do say, don't show your clout till May is out. So I don't think summer's here. Of course it's not, even though it's actually very sunny out there. I went for our morning walk and I was wearing my sunglasses, but I wasn't hot, but I did need my sunglasses. There we go. I hope those of you who don't need to see all this will have jumped forward. Some people do like timestamps, don't they? No idea how to do that. Otherwise I'd put one in. So I'm not going to do these two. I think you get the picture. My arm needs a rest. I can't carry on like that. So now we need to cover that. So I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use this one. There we go. To cover it. And I had already cut the other ones to the size that I need, but let's do this one. So we're going to go 3 7/8 down there. So you'd be able to get 9 of these out of a sheet. Go 3 1/2, and then you get a little bit left over. 3 1/2. 3 1/2. 3 1/2. And then you've got that little bit left over, which it would have been absolutely perfect if that was the right size for this, but it's not, it's too thin. But no matter, get used for something else. Let me, I've got another little bit of scrappy dappy do to cut up for the other one. That's a bit, I'll use this on the other one. So for the little ones, we want 3 3/8. And 1 7/8. Okay, 1 7/8. That'll cut me lip. That'll do me weak ones. So let's get them all sorted. So we just bring in corner rounder, so I just rounded all these corners. And then of course I have to ink them. I only need two. I'm not going to do that third one. Save that. So, because you can see the white core in the paper. So, take that out with this. Ink it up a bit more. Keeping an eye to the time, being 46 minutes. So just see how much time it takes to make journals. They are quite time consuming, which is why they sometimes have a very high price tag. There we go, that'll do. And then they just stick on there, do you know? Didn't do that one very well there. That's better. So I'll just give that a little. I like the B side of this. So nice. It's tea dyed on top of the original colour. Just gives it such a wonderful vintage look. Going that way. There we go. So that just gets stuck down like that. That's for journaling on. And that is, oops, that'll be all ready to get slotted in somewhere. Don't know where yet. I do sometimes have a look and think, which side do I want to be the back? I quite like that for the journaling side, so we're going to stick that on the back here. I decided that I didn't want to use this stripy side anywhere in the journal. You know, when it's such a big space. Let's bring, oh yeah, that's right. Let's bring in the slightly bigger nozzle there, that's better. So this is lined up to sort of fit within that frame, like so. And then sometimes, yeah, get a bit of glue oozing, but it mops up. That's what I like about colour. Mops up really, really well. So that's that. So we want two of them. I won't do that one. Let's save that for off camera, because I'm not going to use it on the centre spread anyway. Do you know, sometimes I wake up in the morning, the tops of my arms really ache, and I think, what did I do? I don't remember lifting anything yesterday, and now I know why. So yeah, that's more subtle. I don't like the way that looks. That's fine, we'll cover that up. Yeah, it must be all that. Inking and stamping. I don't really realise that I'm actually exercising whilst I'm crafting. I used to have a treadle sewing machine. My first sewing machine I got for my 18th birthday was an old Singer treadle machine, and Mum and Dad couldn't afford to buy me an electric one, but Mum had found it. I think she'd seen it in the paper and said, what do you think of that? And it was one. My mum worked in a shirt factory in Derry in Ireland, and she said, you know, they started on them and then they were all electrified, and she said they're great machines. And so that's what I got, and that's what I used to do all my sewing on, and I loved it. And I always felt like I was exercising whilst I was sewing, because you have to move your feet like that for the belt to go around, getting a bit of a rhythm. It was great. So there we go. So they pop in there. I say I deliberately chose them not to match. Oh, there, Jez, to use. Forgot. So now I can look at the these. So I might go for that so that the colour matches a bit there. Yeah, liking that one. And I might go for that butterfly there with a bit of lighter. Oh no, that one. No, I don't want another square one. So if I got that one, in a round, so I do that one in a round, and that one there. Yeah, cooking on gas, that's what we're going to do. So I want to do a bit of glue stick around the vellum, and then collar. Just that little sound there was Netflix telling me to pick up where I left off yesterday, watching You. Which is a series I'm currently binge watching. I watched several episodes yesterday whilst doing this journal. Go off a bit like that. Right. Yeah. There's some straight lines in the matte paper, and then obviously I've done tickets, and I just wanted to sort of make sure that it was lined up with the lines on the music paper. There we go. And then I'll do the same on this side. Right, I've got 6 minutes left, Jess. 6 minutes left. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. It's okay. You can do this. So I'm just gluing where the tickets are and the butterfly is. I'm not putting glue on the back of the vellum at all. So that's that. And then I just added a little bit of decoration on these plainer tags there. I just used a number of small. Do you know, I used exactly the same. How spooky is that? I didn't actually mean to. So I did put them in some little plastic bags to keep them in one place, because I had to take them off the desk. Right, so let's go for different butterflies. So we'll have those two. Might swap them round that way. And then, yeah, we'll stick with numbers, I think. Got a darker number. Let's put that one. That one? No. Now I might put the numbers on the inner side so they're going opposite. So I can hook that around there. And then on the other one, I might have a little advert, because there's number, be advert. Maybe we'll do that. I think that sounds like a good idea. If I could possibly open this. Okay. Too big. Yeah, love that. Now, I did put a little bit of lace on the other, but what I've also got is I die cut some strips. So I might put them on the underneath. So that's what they were die cut for, to be little elements. So 2 minutes. Let's get these all inked. I've been desperately doing videos since I got back from my 2 holidays. I don't involve any editing. So if this goes a couple of minutes over the hour, I do apologise. I hope you're watching on double quick time. There we go. So put a bit of that on that. Right, so let's rip that end off. I'd rather have it ripped. Go to there, rip there, and there, rip to there. There we go. Make that end. So these were cut out with my little dies that cut these shapes, and then I went over with this stamp set again. So you could use lace. I just thought this would make a nice little look. It's like it's been torn out. A page in the notebook. Sadly, it's retiring. is being replaced with something similar, different shape. So it's like making me think, well, I'm going to have that now, aren't I? But I haven't decided yet. I don't think I'm going to, because I've actually got a punch that makes that shape, so I don't really need it. And I don't really want the rest of it, so watch this space if I end up getting it. So that's that one. Stick that one down. Oh. 1 hour, 1 minute, soz. There we go. And let's put this one on. Nearly did it. And I could go back and I could speed some things up, but I'm not going to. Going to leave it. Because I am getting this, I am putting out a few extra videos to get this done before this lovely paper retires. So if you catch it and you think, oh, I love that, you can go and buy it. Same with the vellum that I used. And these dies even. And I think they are all reduced. There we go. So the dies come from this set here, Blossoming Happiness, and there is a stamp set that goes with it, but all I was particularly interested in was the two dies that cut it out. That's one. The other one's there, but I'm just conscious of time now. So there we go. That is the centre spread, okay? And I showed you how I made my tags as well. So that's the original, and that's the one I've just done now. So hope you like that, and I will bring you the next, I think there'll be one more, probably in the decorating this bit and the front bits like that, because yeah, I've shown you how I made the tags now, so you don't need to see them. So there'll probably just be some finishing touches. Okay, I'll link down below to everything that you can buy in my Stampin' Up shop, and watch out for this is going to be up for sale as well when I finished it. Okay, see you all again soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe.